Welcome back. Time to shine. And we are absolutely thrilled once again to be joined by our NFL on CBS analyst, our good friend, the great Amy Trask. And Amy, there is so much to get into today, but let's start with the big news in sports and the National Football League. The Titans and Steelers game is going to be rescheduled. They want to make sure that they have enough time to have the proper results to the latest COVID tests, and it's a good job by the league doing that. Now, from a management perspective, take us through some of the logistical issues that a team and a staff would have to go through in rescheduling a ball game.
Sure, and there are a tremendous number of logistical issues, but Adam, I will be quick to say they can all be managed. Now, my experience in the league is that when logistical issues like this pop up, there are plenty of people who run around like Chicken Little screaming, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Well, the sky is not falling, and it will get worked out. Number one, the fan issue makes this easier from a logistical standpoint, because if a game is canceled, right now, there are either fewer fans than normal or no fans. So that's easier. But let's look at travel. First of all, the team that is on the road has already engaged an airline to fly it. With the exception of the Patriots, teams are chartering planes. So if you charter a plane for night X and night Y, but now you're going the next day and the next day, well, you've got to move the charter by a day. You better contact the airline immediately and make sure that that plane is available to you the day you now need it, because you're advancing by a day or two your flight there and your flight back. Similarly with a hotel, jump on that. You've made arrangements to stay at a hotel on any given night. You're going to have to change that now. Now, right now, with travel reduced because of the virus, it shouldn't be too hard to change the flight arrangements with the airline or to change the hotel arrangements, but you better get on that immediately. You also need game day workers, even if there aren't fans or a full stadium full of fans. There are game day workers who are now going to have to be available on a different day than they had planned to be available. And I'll give you one more idea of the sort of things you're dealing with. Teams travel with physicians, internists, orthopedists, and other physicians. The majority of instances, these physicians are independent contractors, not employees of the team. So they have other businesses. And if the team doctors, who are independent contractors, thought they were getting back on a certain day, they might have scheduled other appointments with other patients the next day that will now have to be rescheduled. I offer these examples not because they're hard to figure out, but because it's, as I said, an example of the sort of things you need to figure out. Adam, we put men on the moon. We put men and women on the space station. We fly around in space. We can do this.
Absolutely. It's great information. And you know what? I was thinking of both coaches when they spoke, Mike Vrabel and Mike Tomlin. Neither one had a Chicken Little approach in dealing with the situation. So for those fan bases, know they're off to a good start in terms of logistics. Now, Amy, I could scream in. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to thank you for pointing that out, because when I noticed that there are those who will run around screaming that the sky is falling, I did not mean Vrabel or Tomlin. Great catch by you. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. And those guys are certainly calm, and they're excellent coaches and deserve a lot of credit. You know, it's easy for me with a microphone and air conditioning and makeup to say, fire the coach. And by the way, Amy, I mean it when I say Dan Quinn and Adam Gase. They should be looked at in terms of a mid-season replacement. Now, you live this with the Raiders. I want you to take us through, if you can, the pros and cons when it comes to firing a coach in the middle of a season.
Well, I did live through this twice during my career. Al chose to fire coaches mid-season, and I will say to you that which I said to him. Why? What's the goal? What's the plan? Are you firing simply because you're angry and you want to fire someone, or is there a reason? Let's look at the Jets right now. Are you concerned that you have a young quarterback who's not developing and who won't develop under the current coach? Are you concerned that you need to see what you have in this young quarterback? Maybe that's your analysis as to why you want to change coaches. In either of these instances, Atlanta, for example, New York, for example, do you believe the team has the coach has lost the team. So I guess the first thing I would ask is, why are you doing this? What's the goal? Are you doing it simply because you're angry? Are you doing it to keep the fan base engaged? Are you doing it because your players aren't developing? And then the next question you have to ask is, and do what? Okay, do you have someone on staff that you can move in that you think will be a better interim or long-term solution? If you don't have a good answer to and do what, then what are you doing? The one thing firing early does, and it doesn't need to be this early to accomplish what I'm about to say, is it gives you a leg up on looking at coaching candidates for the next season.
Absolutely, and that is something especially a team like Atlanta, in my opinion, could take advantage of. Amy, when you look at the Aaron Rodgers, I can't believe you drafted my replacement tour. That's not the official term, but I'm going to use it. What has impressed you the most about Aaron Rodgers in the first 3 weeks of this season?
You mean other than where he went to his undergrad?
Exactly.
What hasn't impressed me about Aaron Rodgers? I mean, look, just to put it in context, the Green Bay Packers have more points in the third quarter this season than the Jets have in all 3 games combined. The numbers that the Packers are putting up on offense, and look, the game's not about numbers and it's not about passing yards, but my gosh, I think what he's doing that impresses me the most is an adage I heard throughout my career. Good teams find a way to win. And that way may be different every single game against every single opponent, but they find a way to win, and that's what he's doing.
Amy, on Sunday on CBS, it's my guy Derek Carr taking on my guy Josh Allen. I feel like I created the bandwagons for both of these guys. Amy, you got to help me out here in terms of the Bills and the Raiders and my guys.
Well, I think we should do like a puppet segment on that other pregame show where you have Derek Carr puppet and you have, you've got your puppets and you're going to have to figure out which of your guys, because, by the way, I've always wanted to ask you this. You've got my guy, Patrick Mahomes. You've got my guy, Derek Carr. You've got my guy, Josh Allen. When do I get to be, hey, that's my guy, Amy Trask?
You know what? That's a fair point. That's how I'm going to have to tee you up next week. My guy, Amy Trask, right?
Anyway, I look forward to sitting next to you or virtually next to you and seeing how you're going to navigate this. And I will tell you this. I want to know whether you're doing it intellectually, whether you are putting their names down on the ground and letting cats or dogs pick them for you, or whether you're just picking it out of a hat.
Let me tell you, with these guys who are both off to outstanding seasons, I'm going to probably have to look outside the quarterback position, which probably means I'm going to favor the Buffalo Bills. Amy, as always, unbelievable stuff, great inside information, great conversation, and we always appreciate the time.
Well, I love joining you. I hope to come back, and if not, I may stalk you. And my finger was in the air just to remind you, you can't push. You've got to pick one of them.
That's right, 100%. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.